Hi everyone, Wilson here. Welcome back to another video. So in this video I'll be showing you the steps of how to replace the interior heater box on the R172 SLK. Now if you watched my previous video on the interior heating repair, this is why I'm doing it, because one of the subscribers brought his car along for me to diagnose an issue with his heating, the same problem that I had, whereby he wasn't getting any heating in the car or it was constantly cold. I did have a look at it initially and diagnosed it to be the blender flap, according to my diagnostics machine. I tried to fix it for him by lubricating the blender flaps. Although that was successful, I still get the error codes and the heating system no longer works correctly. So the next stage is to replace the heater box, but unfortunately the box is located behind the dash, so to get to it you have to remove the entire dash, literally strip the whole thing down. It's a whole day's job, maybe two. So I've got that challenge to give that a go. Now, to be on the safe side, before I start, let's remove the battery connection. And I don't want the airbags going off basically in my face, so let's do that first. And then I shall proceed in stripping down the dash. Right, slowly getting there. I've taken most of the passenger side off, as you can see. Side panels, steering wheel's off. That was a pain. Took me ages to get the steering wheel off because it was so tight. I need 3 people to hold the wheel, and the cowling's off underneath. The next thing now is to remove the instrument cluster over there, and then I'm going to proceed and remove the screen, all the entertainment system, all the center console, etc. Be right back. Quick update, almost there. You can see I've removed quite a hell of a lot. Everything's gone. Instrument cluster. So only thing left now is the switch gear over there, the light switch connections, etc. And then a load of electrical connections under there, airbag connection, and then all the nuts and bolts need to come out various places. And then after that I should be free to lift the whole dash out. Right, lots of hours pain and struggling. I've finally got most of the dash out. Bit of a mess in here, but not a lot I can do. Yeah, everything's been stripped out, literally the whole dash. Now I got left to do is this cross member that needs to come out, because unfortunately that is holding the actual airbox that is actually against it. So I need to remove this to get this airbox out, and then wait for the new part and then replace that. Wish me luck. Right, let's crack on. Finally I've got the heater box out. It was quite fiddly, but I got there in the end. You can see the heat exchanger line in the front, and then the rest of the airbox, which fortunately I don't need to remove, that can stay in situ. But yeah, so now I've got to wait for the new heater box to arrive from my subscriber, and then I shall do the reversal, put it all back together again. The dashboard is enjoying itself on my sofa, with the rest of its companion all scattered along the floor. So I spent a whole day taking this lot apart. Doesn't look much, but yeah, my god, it took a long time, bit by bit. But the culprit is this part, the heater box, blender flap issue. Everything externally looks okay, all working, but it's reporting obviously something internally has gone astray with the blender flap. Right, so I thought I'd give everyone some hints and tips when trying to remove this heater box from the car. Now, this heater box is held in by 2 screws at the bottom, T20s, T20 Torx. Undo those 2, and then it will literally just come off and lift up from the rest of the heater box configuration at the back, which you don't need to touch. You can leave that in situ. Now, another tip as well. Obviously, in this slot here is where the heat exchanger core, radiator bit, that goes in. That needs to come out. Now, you can't pull it out by the pipes because it's solid pipe. So what you need to do, you need to slide it towards the left as you're pulling it out. So left as in on a right hand drive car, you put it to the left, obviously on the On the left-hand drive car, it'll be the opposite direction, I believe, depending on your country. To get that heater core out, you need to remove this bracket. So this is a T20 Torx screw. Take that off, and you need to move this out of the way. And what I didn't find earlier is I didn't see earlier was this lever for the flap was in the way, so the actual heater core wouldn't slide out. That was pumping along that, and I was working it out for ages, and then eventually I found that in here in the lever there's a little notch, so put a screwdriver in there and then pull that at the same time to release the lever, and then that'll get that lever out of the way, and then the whole thing can slide out a lot easier. You just slide it out. So remember to do that. If you don't do that, that'll rub against the the fins on the heater core and damage it, so that's important. Yeah, so I hope that's useful for anyone trying to replace this heater box. So the new box has arrived. Here we go, brand new one, straight out of the box. Yeah, so let's crack on and fit it into the car and put everything back together. Mission accomplished. Well, sort of. You probably wondered why that's hanging out. Right, let's get in the car and I'll explain. So there was a slight twist in this job. So I replaced the airbox, the heater box, thinking that will resolve the issue, which it kind of has, but I'll get in the car, I'll show you. The ignition on. So when I read the fault code on the air conditioning, and guess what? It's come back again, exactly the same fault. So if you read that fault exactly, it says the actuator motor blend flap has a mechanical fault. So you think mechanical fault, yeah? So it's the air heater box, which my subscriber took to Mercedes to diagnose, and that's what they told him as well, and that's what my diagnostics told them. However, it's still showing the error code and still getting the original problem, whereby if that bottom air flap control, if that's not turned on, the heating doesn't work. So that points to a faulty controller unit. So I took one from my SLK over there, plugged it in earlier, and lo and behold, it fixed the issue. Everything works, you know, perfectly, 100%, no error codes whatsoever. Now you're probably thinking, I spent all that time ripping the dash apart, 2 days, probably a bit more, putting it all back together for waste. But it's not a waste in the end, because what I think's happened is the heater box was stiff. When I got the old one, the flaps were really stiff. Even though I loosened it, it was still stiffer than this one that I put in. I reckon there's a combination issue here, that box has probably caused the fault with the control unit as well. I don't know, that's my assumption. Or we only had one fault in the first place. Now, my subscriber said, let's put the original box back in just to prove it, and it's not the case, and I've got to put it all back in again. So I think the best thing is, because I've got it working with my controller, let's leave the heater box in and just get a controller unit. You know, you can pick one up eBay, dirt cheap, and that will fix it once and for all. It's not something, you know, I would recommend doing, ripping this whole dash apart. Although I've done it, well, I've just got the airbag to go back in, and then I'm done, and clear the fault code obviously as well. Yeah, so it's a big challenge. I'm glad it's over, and just like I said, this to sort out, and then we're sorted. Right, we're winning. No fault codes. So I've been testing this for the last 10 minutes with this new replacement controller. It's all working fine. I've tested all the modes. Temperature goes hot and cold as expected, and it regulates the system as well. So it's had the new heater box as well with the new controller. Happy with that. I'm going to let the subscriber know his car is ready for collection. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, so you can keep updated on future videos like this. Thanks for watching guys, see you all, bye bye.